Hey folks, it's John from Strosa Legal Nurse Consulting. First of all, I just realized that I need to get like an iPhone holder for my car because I always had the thought, well, I have the navigation, I have a complete screen that is big and everything, and I don't need it. But I just realized that for making videos, and since I drive so much, it's really convenient, so I'm gonna get that. Sorry if this is a little shaky because I'm holding it with one hand. But I'm driving back from a case in Newport Beach. I'm going home. It went really well. I just wanted to talk to you about this time. Something I wanted to talk to you last Friday about, but my video had no sound after I finished it. I talked about so much and I don't remember everything I said, so I'm going to try. Um, I want to talk about the importance of um, prepping the client appropriately and letting the attorney know that you, as the legal representative, nurse observer, will be calling the client the day before or 2 days before to prep them so that they can inform them because, well, I'll tell you why. So this is John. I'm John from Strosa Legal Nurse Consulting. I have my own business as a legal nurse consultant, and I've been doing it for almost 4 years, and I really love it. It's taken me away from the hospital, from working 12 hours at the ICU. I still work periodically in the ICU to keep up my skills, and I work once a week at the hospital in the PACU. So I still do critical care, and like this past week was a slow week. So I worked 3 days at the hospital. Yesterday I only worked for 6 hours. I didn't want to work a full shift, but I'm glad that I can do that whenever I need to or whenever I want to. Because I still love being a nurse and I still love all that critical care stuff and the pumps and the vents and the feeding tubes and everything. I'm still an ICU nurse in my core. So today I want to talk to you about the importance of prepping the client. Why do you prep the client? First of all, you want to call the client, and I found that it's best to call them the day before. Okay, sometimes the attorney will ask you, can you please tell me when you're going to call the client, or can you call them at a certain date because the client is working or whatever. But most of the time, 99% of the time, I just call them the day before because I found that they don't forget as much of everything I told them as if I would call them more than one day ahead. So I call them and I introduce myself. I tell them why I'm calling, who I am, why I've been hired, and what my role is going to be. Now, a lot of times, and the reason I'm making this call is because a lot of times you don't get a hold of the client at first call. So I'll call and um, I will not get a response. It'll go to voicemail. So I always leave a message. If the attorney tells me that the client is Spanish speaking, then obviously I'll leave a message in Spanish. But many times they don't tell me, so I have to guess. If the name sounds like it could be Latino, um, then I will leave a message in English and in Spanish. And I also always send immediately a text in English and in Spanish, or just in English if they're English speaking. And I tell them why I'm calling, who I am, who hired me, and that I want to talk to them for a few minutes to prep them, to give them some instructions, and to answer any questions they may have. And so I call, when I talk to them, finally, when they get back to me, text me back, call me at this time or after work, or when they call me right back sometimes, and because a lot of them want to screen the calls, which I understand because this is a legal matter, and they probably have the defense attorneys and other people posing as somebody who wants to do them good calls. So a lot of people I know, I found out that they screen the calls. So sometimes I'll call you back, sometimes you'll have to call again. Um, so I talk to them, I explain who I am, what my role is going to be, that I'm going to be with them as their legal representative. I was hired by their attorney, and I'll be there to record all the audio, to take notes of everything the doctor does and says, and if necessary to block certain types of questions that the attorney doesn't want them to answer, because this is not a deposition. So um, uh, the only questions that they are allowed to answer, I tell them, are questions that have to do directly with this case, with this accident. So basically, what happened, what type of accident it was. For example, a slip and fall, or a trip and fall, or I was rear-ended, or a car accident. Okay, no details about anything. Um, and what was injured in their body, what body parts, and what symptoms are still ongoing. It could be pain, lack of range of motion, they can't sit for too long, they can't walk, they can't exercise as they used to, numbness or tingling in the arms, the legs, pain, etc. It can be so many different symptoms. So those are the only types of questions they're allowed to answer. Um, Anything that has to do with other medical history, including any medical conditions, prior injuries, surgeries, or accidents, we're not going to talk about. We can acknowledge them if it comes up. The doctor, oh, I see that you were injured when you were playing football in high school. I say, doctor, we're not going to discuss that. Or I'll say something, polite, but that's why I'm there, to stop anything that will be beyond this accident or this case. And nothing about personal or social history. For example, do you smoke, do you drink, did you go to college, are you married, where do you live? Nothing like that will be allowed. And nothing about their work history or employment history, like what they do, where they work, how many hours, what's their profession. Nothing like that is allowed. So I'm there to block all those types of questions. So I explain all this to the client, and then that the doctor will examine them after the short, brief history. And that puts them at ease. A lot of clients have told me, oh, I'm so glad you called me. I was so anxious. I didn't know what to do, blah, blah. So I think it's a really good service that we provide also, because we're there to take the brunt of, because sometimes the doctors are brusque, or they're, intimidating, or, oh, if you don't answer this, I'm going to write down here that you didn't answer this, and this can affect your case. And I'm like, doctor, that's not true. This is not going to affect their case. They're allowed to answer or reject any question that they don't want to answer. So, yeah, I don't let them do that. But there are doctors who do that. So you have to be there to put them at ease and to help them as your client. The other point I wanted to make is let the attorney know, hey, I tried to call this, I send them a text or an email. The client was contacted via email, via text and voicemail. I haven't talked to them yet. I will let you know when and if they call me back. So yeah, let them know if you can. Please let the client know that I will be calling them the day before, so that they have my number. Give them my number so they know it's me and that I'm hired by you. And that helps a lot, because, like I said, a lot of clients are afraid to answer the phone and talk to anybody they don't know. And I do that myself. So not because of legal reasons. I just don't want to talk to anybody I don't know or that isn't in my immediate contact list, unless I screen the call. Yeah, so it's important to do that. Prepping your client is important because it puts them at ease. It explains. You get a lot of time, because I've been to so many. I know the parking situations in many places, where to park, how much it's going to cost, how to get there. If it's a corner building, the entrance is through the other street. So there's a lot of instruction that you can give them, and that puts them at ease as well. Just be as helpful as you can. The last thing is, I also prep a lot of clients, because I prep beyond my own clients. I prep people in Spanish for other nurses or other attorneys who ask me to prep other clients. And obviously I charge, I charge for all that. So I prep a lot of people in Spanish and in English. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. This is longer than I wanted to talk to you, but I'm trying to not get into an accident. So if you'll excuse me, yeah, I need to buy that stand, because that will help me a lot. I'm going to do that, get it on Amazon ASAP, because I want to make more videos, and I want this to be like not shaky but steady. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care, guys. If you have any questions or suggestions of something I should talk about, please let me know. God bless you, and as always, be healthy, be happy. Bye.